And right now it's time for that time when we talk to our special guest. Tonight's special guest is Brendan Horan. Brendan has been through what could be described as turbulent times. The media gave us one story in their frantic search for sensationalism. Tonight, Brendan has a chance to tell his story. We welcome Brendan Horan as our special guest on The Beat Goes On. Welcome to The Beat Goes On, Mr. Horan.
Call me Brendan.
I'll call you Brendan. Well, thanks. Brendan, I think it's about time we had a cup of tea.
Oh, I agree. You don't actually do cheers for the cup of tea, do you? Don't you? Hold on. We've got to hold that pinky out.
Remember the last famous cup of tea in Ellerslie?
Yes.
Yes. Remember that? Wow. It'll be something similar to that. But Brendan, I said in the introduction...
I'm just looking around for bags.
I said in the introduction it's been a bit of a turbulent time for Brendan Horan, hasn't it? And in some ways you have been treated unfairly. I'd love to hear your side of the story, because I'm sure there's always, the way it comes out in the Herald or the way it comes out on the television, it's all one-sided most of the time, isn't it? In the search for sensationalism.
Yeah, look, it's been crazy. It's been outrageous.
Yeah.
I never imagined in my wildest dreams that things would have transpired like they have. The sad thing is, I believe that our journalists were reasonably good.
And well, you worked with them, didn't you?
Yes, exactly.
You were a weatherman at TV1, and you met journalists all the time, and you thought, well, what a great...
And some were great, but obviously there were some that were pretty ordinary. And I believe I've now met some of the worst journalists, not only in New Zealand but in the world. Completely false, completely, never did their homework. Made out there were police investigations when there was no such thing. Made out that my mother had millions of dollars. She came back from Australia, she had about $700,000, and this was, 13 years ago, 14 years ago. And then bought a house worth $400,000. So, it was all out of just sickening, absolutely sickening stuff. Yeah.
What I'd love to know is, it just came out of the blue. You were working away in Parliament, and then what was the first indication that something serious had gone wrong? Or
no, I got a look. They'd sent a copy of a codicil to the Speaker's office. And so the Speaker's office notified us of this codicil. So it had been floating around for a while, and the decent journalists had looked at it and, thought, actually, there's nothing here. But there was a particularly unscrupulous journalist who got hold of it and just went hell for leather, taking these allegations by somebody who's unwell as gospel, and and it just carried on and on and on, syndicated out all over New Zealand, all over the world on internet.
Exactly.
And what people don't understand is, I think, for me personally, I have a lot of friends all over the world. I coached internationally. I played water polo internationally. And the damage that it's done to my reputation has been immense. But it has been a great challenge. And what I've learned is something that the Dalai Lama said, and I was so lucky to meet the Dalai Lama last year with my wife. And that was, it's not your reputation that counts, it's your character. And
I'm always concerned. A lie is halfway around the world before truth gets its boots on. So it happens so much in New Zealand, doesn't it? People they come crashing down on you, ruin your careers, and then there's a commission or a report, and they find that you're exonerated. A lie is halfway around the world before truth gets its boots on. It's happening all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
All in the search to get newspaper copy that's going to be sensational. Yes.
And I only found out on television, watching Parliament. And that was quite surreal watching it. But I will say that the next day, my wife and I got on that plane and got down to Parliament. Because
you must have been in a turmoil. Yeah, everything had just shattered, hadn't it?
Well, you know, it was sickening, really. It was just unbelievable. And so for me, despite all the bad press that I get, I find myself in my position, being
still
very
enthusiastic.
But very functional in there.
We've run out of time. Great to have you in the studio today, Brendan. And I can feel the enthusiasm coming from you. You really are.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
so
coming in
much.
today, and best of luck in this in the year 2014.